Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Weekend Winners in association with BetVictor as we look ahead to the pick of the action from the final day of York's Ebor Festival, as well as our best bets for the weekend. Great to be back in the studio. Still partly in holiday mode here, but I can't go another week without my dynamic duo being
partly in holiday mode. She's had 2 of the last 3 weeks off and she's still partly in holiday mode.
I'm still there in body. I'm not going to, no, not in body, in mind. Body, I'm here though, yes. More importantly, to try and find some winners. But you two behaved yourself, Rixie?
Just about, yeah, usual, yeah. I'm kind of probably not going to behave myself today because I'm feeling a lot better. Been down with a little bit of virus last 3 or 4 weeks, isn't that right, Sam?
We have. And
I'm feeling good now, so I'm ready to annoy people.
Grand, ready to annoy. I feel like I've timed it perfectly then to be back with you. Sam, how have you been?
Yeah, good. Declan, though, we're going to have to embarrass you, Kate, because you came back from holiday, didn't you? And poor old Kate had to jump into the commentary booth.
Oh,
we turned out you've got a new skill. And I think producer Ben is going to cue it up because I wanted to show it because I thought it was fantastic.
This is news to me.
I was watching this because I was at home. Fair play to you. That was class. I would have called in sick or just jumped underneath the desk or something. But fair play to you, off the cuff.
And you had a 28-1 winner, I think it was, Clive Cox, and it was a race full of very unexposed horses.
No, thank God it was only over 5 furlongs because it was,
does that not make it harder because you've got to get the call quicker, no?
It's over quicker, I suppose.
That's true. It's over quicker. It's just say what you see without engaging brain. But I've had to do a few greyhound races and a few say-so races, but not actually anything domestic yet, or nothing that really kind of matters to our general viewers. But apparently we've got it queued up, so I don't want to be teeing this up.
Let's see it.
Here we go.
I think you just have.
And they are off. So start from Cougar Forster Debutant, also from Whiskey Kisses, also on debut. Out in front, Green Dam, who's made a bright start considering she is on debut. In second, Evie Ross makes a bold bid, and against the rail as expected. Soccer Star from that wide draw in stall 7 has managed to bag the rail, setting a good clip. Plenty of these looking very inexperienced in behind. As they approach the 2 furlong marker, Green Dam it is, who's still bang up there alongside Evie Ross, who's now overtaken the favourite Soccer Star against the rail, and Evie Ross it is, who is now going on the back of her 9th on debut. Looks a lot straighter this time around as we were just seeing Berlinetta, who's rolling around on the camber, coming to the half a furlong marker, and it is Evie Ross who will run up. A few length winner from the favourite Soccer Star back in second.
Oh,
fair
God, apologies, you've had to relive that. If you had to watch that live, then I can only apologise for then. And now for the rerunning as well. I haven't dared to watch that back yet.
It was good. I thought it was class. You picked up the slow starters at the very start. Horses were green, everything. You copped horses rolling around.
You know, punters love to know where the favourite is. Unfortunately, wasn't in front for them. But
You two gassing me up. I should go on holiday more often. I come back then for this, like you say. Yeah, I was still definitely mentally in Ibiza that day as well. So having to engage brain to a fillies maiden over 5 furlongs was just not exactly what I was expecting.
You should have just wrapped it up by saying, and the winner is the final boss.
Yeah. We know he's been the real winner of 2025 so far. Right, that was an unexpected tangent for me anyway. So thanks, lads, for that. And thank you so much to our producer there, Ben, as well, for teeing that up. But we had better get stuck into the action at York. And hopefully no commentaries for me at York by any means. But, of course, before we get stuck into the action, as always, a reminder to please do gamble responsibly. Our tips are not guaranteed to win, but we will still do our best to point you in the right direction. Right, we're going to begin with the 150 at York. The Group 3 Strensel Stakes, 3-year-olds and over 9 furlongs. Just the 8 runners that we've got to go at here. King's Gambit it is. What do we do with him? Heading the way at 9-4 deck.
Yeah, we might have 7 runners because it didn't a bullet point win yesterday, Thursday, at York, which means we might lose the each way betting in the race as well.
The comments were really positive from Connections that they kind of anticipated following up, which surprised me because it probably wouldn't really be something you'd expect from Connections.
Yeah, but he's such a big horse on quick ground. It'd be interesting to see if he comes out of the race well.
But I think, you know, the signals are it's potentially, but you're right to keep an eye on that, Declan. Obviously, us pesky bookmakers would love it down to 7, but I think let's work as if bullet points are a runner here, I think it'd be fair to say.
Right, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was really tricky. King's Gambit, I think, was supposed to go to Goodwood for a Qatar-sponsored race, and he missed it. Obviously, that's maybe quite significant given the people that own them. Beaumark, we haven't seen in a long time, was quite keen in the French Derby. Bullet Point mightn't even run. King of Cities, I've been a little bit disappointed with him. I thought he was going to be a really good horse at the start of the season, but he hasn't gone on. Boiling Point's quite clean. Glady steps up from handicap company. Check and Challenge seems to fall out of the gap, the gates every now and again, but is a big price on that run in the lock-in. So really trappy race. Look, I came down on Skukuza for Ryan Moore and Ed Dunlop. He could be a non-runner as well, though, if the ground gets too quick. So it's a bit of a nightmare race. But I thought he was interesting. One, because I think he's tactically versatile. When he won at the Curragh, I think it was 3 starts back. Oh, my days. Travelled like he was in the form of his life, held up out Ryan Moore and bolts up, and then Ryan Moore switched his style of running to make all next time out at the Curragh. Disappointed last time out at Goodwood, but I think we can forgive him that, especially as Ryan backed off him late. He looked like he maybe hated the track. We give him another go. This is him running in last year's Britannia against a horse called Mickley, and look how far clear there of the rest. And you can just see him there. He's a son of Blue Point. No, he does move well, but supposedly after this race, he didn't pick up an injury per se, but he was quite sore. The ground was a little bit quick for him. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes. If it's good ground, that kind of ground, I think it'll be fine for him. But I just thought with him stepping slightly up in trip against horses who maybe want a little bit further, he was the bet with the great Ryan Moore taking the reins.
The great, yeah. 6-1 as well, so not a bad price to go at all. Nice way to play our opener, Sanford Deck. Who did you like?
Yeah, long-time viewers of the show will know that I'm a big King's Gambit fan.
Yes,
but
I was waiting for this.
I'm off the cliff edge because I just I feel like the drop in trip concerns me. The fact that we haven't seen the horse since Royal Ascot. Deck alluded to the fact that he didn't go to Goodwood. There's just question marks now for me about this horse. And at 9-4, looks a little bit of a bookmaker's trap, doesn't it? I'd say at that price. I thought Gladius was worth chancing. If we get the 8 each way, especially at 9-1, Andrew Balding's horse. One of the last 2 occasions, I thought the Sandown effort was good, and then went to Goodwood and really sort of had to battle it out from the front against older horses as well. I thought that was a real plus point. Unexposed, could just improve yet again, and in a field where I just kind of felt there was a few that, you know, when Deck ran through them, the names that you sort of thought, I'm not so sure. I thought 9-1 for this Kingman horse. Of course, Kingman seem to love York, don't they? Had a good week so far. Andrew Balding's had a winner, hasn't he, as well? So 9-1 for me, I just thought was at the prices the each way play in a tricky contest.
Not as good as Night of Thunder's had, though, this week at York as a sire, who, as you both know, my absolute favourite sire ever. But yeah, Kingman does have a good record at York. Remiss of me, I don't actually know who my horse is by. King of Cities. So if it's one of those two, especially with that name, then I might be coming back to you.
King of Cities is Dubawi.
Yeah. Oh, how did you know that? You've not even got ears in.
I know, I just know some stuff and don't know other stuff. If I knew that.
Yeah, does not sleep, but luckily I've got producer Ben on hand then to have given me that straight away. King of Cities, though, for me at 7-1 here. Now, it is a very open Group 3 contest, and this was a race that I kind of started with, left alone, came back with, and I just don't have that strong a conviction or an opinion on it either, and I think it's just a really hard race to have any sort of strong opinion on. But King of Cities at the prices then for me. I thought King's Gambit was worth taking on at the head of the market, so prefer the ever so consistent in his career King of Cities, running to very similar RPRs in each of his 2 starts, 2 seasons, I should say, to date so far. Improvement, though, certainly in his 3-year-old campaign. Now, last time out was a bit of a disappointing effort on the face of it. 3rd of 4 in a Group 3 at Goodwood. But we're looking back at him now when he was 9th of 18 in the Prix du Jockey Club at Chantilly. Now, this was behind Camille Pissarro, of course, a Group 1, a classic. And he was only beaten 4 lengths, which is a fair effort in the grand scheme of things. And it was just interesting that Connection supplemented him for this race. Now, he was wide, as we just saw there, coming into the straight, but he kept on really well. That was over the 10-furlong trip, so it was interesting that he's a half-brother to a Commonwealth Cup winner. His dam stayed 1 mile 4, though, and he looked that day like he'd want further. So it was interesting that Connections took him back to 1 mile for his next 2 starts. Now he's getting the added furlong up to 9 furlongs here, which I think will see him to better effect. And as I say, in what is just an open race, I still think that he can be chanced to run his usual consistent race.
Interesting as well, Ryan Moore has ridden him this season. I think he rode him last time out at Goodwood. And even though Sean Levy, you know, and Pat Dobbs are two of the main jockeys at Hannon's, I think if Ryan Moore's agent or Ryan rings up Richard Hannon for a ride, he can get it. So it's interesting that he's actually going to ride Skukuza.
Just really quickly, I think if you like King's Gambit, I think there'll be a drift on the day. I think you'll get a bigger price than 9 to 4.
I feel like everyone's going to have the same opinion as us and just sees that price and just thinks, he's worth taking on like that, surely, isn't he? Yeah, so...
Drifts out to 4 and bolts up.
There you go. There you go, exactly. Will he be carrying any of our cash? Who knows at that point, but maybe the temptation will be there ahead of the Strensel Stakes. Do let us know in the comment section below who you fancy for that Group 3 contest. So as we move on to the 225 now, this is the Melrose, of course, a heritage handicap, 3-year-olds over a mile 6, so the 3-year-olds version of the Ebor. Now, favouritism 7-2. Tariance it is for Andrew Boulding, who won this in 2020 and 2021. Now, Sam, you landed the winner last year in Table Talk, so it only seems fitting that you should go first.
Which was a really good effort from Sam, given he was in Pop World the night before. This is the anniversary of the Pop World episode.
Anniversary. Yeah. What are we doing? Going on about my commentary? We should be bringing up that photo of you back in the Skypad again.
Let's let Ben edit that.
It's great to see you finally, got a little bit professional about proceedings. And you turned up in good order today.
I was going to say, this is the last time I think I had a winner was Table Talk, going back about 12 months ago, it feels like, in the current form. But yeah, it was an interesting race last year. This year's renewal, I'm not sure. I kind of went round the houses a bit, and I kept coming back to Golden Handshake, and I thought at one point I was going to tip this horse for William Haggis, who trained 2 of the last sort of recent winners of this. But there's something that puts me off. I watched the Lingfield run again, where it beat absolutely nothing, and I just wasn't sure. So, having circled the entire field, I did come back as a bit of a favourite backer here in Terence at 7-2, and the Sandown run was marred by the fact that a horse did break down there, and I kind of just felt like there was more to come from him. We're going to watch the replay of him finishing second at Donny, but he's by Frankel. He's a big horse as well. There's a lot of him, and I can see sort of these kind of trips being really up his street. It's got a bit unexposing compared to a few that have had a few more runs in here, and I think this kind of challenge would be right up his street. And I think his mark's fair. I think he can go well here. I just thought Golden Handshake hadn't done enough for me off 88. For all I appreciate, a lot of people are going to really latch onto that. The Royal Connection as well, obviously a bit out of luck. They just seem to breed these slow boats, don't they, a little bit, when you look through what's produced for the King. Hopefully someone can send him a nice speedy type. But yeah, I kind of went round the houses and came back to the favourite. Unoriginal, but I just felt Andrew Boulding's horse was the one I'd want to side with, no shorter than 7-2.
He showed some attitude, I thought, last time out at Sandown to win.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting
to make that manoeuvre mid-race as well around the horse.
Yeah, which is interesting. Nice. Juddmonte have got 2 in here, Cape Breton, who might push forward. And given how strongly Tarian stayed last time out, I wonder, Rafe Beckett, don't think he watches this show, but Rafe, although the pacemaking duties for Kirat worked out quite well, but I just do wonder, could they try and tee it up for a favourite here on a horse who likes to go forward, because he does look like he wants kind of a good test even now as a 3-year-old.
Oh, definitely. So it shouldn't matter how the race is run, really, but that's really what you want, isn't it? Especially for these 3-year-olds, someone who really wants a test at this trip. So I'm in agreement. I've got 2 plays in this, though. The first of which is Tariance, and I know 7-2 and a Melrose is on the skinnier side, but he has just got so much upside still, hasn't he? The fact he's still unexposed, yet he's still done very, very little wrong in his career so far, winning 2 of his 4 starts, finishing 2nd and 3rd on the other 2 occasions. And as you say, what sets him apart then for me was the way that he won at Sandown last time out over the mile 6 there. And coming into this race on the back of a win last time out is a notable positive for the Melrose as well. And as you said, last time out was his handicap debut, but how tough he was at Doncaster as well. I know he got overturned as a 4-7 favourite, and we were looking back at that, but he was giving away an £8 penalty into a novice there, hence why he went into a handicap next time out. Still showed improvement anyway, and that was just super, super likeable. As you say, the poor ill-fated Gravitas, who was in that Sandown race, actually beat him at Doncaster and reversed the form from Beverley as well previously. So those 2 had loads of intertwining form lines, and it looked very, very solid along the way. The other horse that was in that Sandown contest was Boatswain, though, who was just fitting onto the graphic at 16-1. I think he was actually bigger prices at the time of declaration. So guess that's a positive that he's been clipped in. Now, he, as I say, finished 4th in that Sandown Handicap. He also was hampered in the run as well, wasn't favoured by the way that the race unfolded, and that was slightly further improvement on the back of a 7th of 19 in the King George V Stakes at Royal Ascot that we're looking at. Now, he was beaten 6.5 lengths behind Merchant. This was over a mile 4. Now, he was sent off at 28-1, so he did slightly improve them for the step up to mile 6 last time out, and at the prices that I have to chance him to have more to offer, considering there's not much to separate him and the favourite, and Boatswain is £5 better off than the favourite as well. So another one to consider for you on the back of that Sandown run, which I thought looked pretty solid form at the time.
I thought you were teeing us up for a Declan Rix special without the favourite there, Kate. You could have 2 bets in the same race.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't want to steal his thunder, would I? So, yeah, I'm just going to play 2 darts. Have you got a without the fav, or are you just going to go straight in?
No, just going to play straight in there. Yeah, I do like Tarriant, but look, he takes a bit of a chunk out of the market, and I don't think the handicappers exactly missed him, but I do like him. He's a nice straightforward, honest horse, and he's got a good attitude, and that goes a long way. But the horse I'm going to put, I'm going to give maybe 2 a mention as well. But the main play, I think, is going to be a horse who, like, I could be wrong. I often talk nonsense. But he just looks to me like he's been maybe plotted up for this race, and it's Sea of Kings. Now, you might get bigger, because I think BetVictor are probably one of the shortest about him, so the traders clearly think he's got a good chance. But you know, you look at his pedigree, and I looked at his striding analysis when he ran at Chepstow, and he looks like he could thrive over 12 furlongs plus, even 14. Now, his first 2 starts were over 10 furlongs when he was quite raw, and, you know, he's still learning. He's definitely probably going to be better as a 4-year-old, but this day at Chepstow, he showed a little bit more. Now, he was maybe a little bit disappointing, because it looked like he was going to absolutely bolt up here. That's him there on the red cap in the cross noseband, and he travelled into the race so well, but just maybe didn't get home, maybe a little bit weak, or, you know, just he was going to come on for the run. But his last 2 starts, he's shown improvement. Penultimately at Kempton, I liked how he sweated up before the race. He got a bit warm, just suggested to me mentally the penny's finally starting to drop with him. And then last time out at Goodwood, I thought he ran a massive race. He was a huge drifter. 6 as he opened up in the morning. I think he had an SP of 14, so he clearly wasn't fancy to run well. He was also drawn in stall 1. He was incredibly slow away, and he gave the field a massive head start. Now, to run as well as he did in a first-time tongue-tie, given the market was so cold on him, I thought it was a big run, and it just all suggests to me the market, his earlier preparations and the trips he's been running over, it all looks like it's maybe been teed up for this race, and he's got some pedigree, this lad. He's by Sea the Stars, and he's out of a horse called Holy Moon, which makes him a full brother to the ARC runner-up, Sea of Class.
Oh, good.
Who was beaten by Enable and was ridden by James Doyle.
Yeah.
And who's riding?
James Doyle tomorrow.
Of course. So there's a bit of symmetry there. Now, I'm not saying James is going to get over the Arcatry defeat if he goes and wins the Melrose tomorrow, but a few extra quid when the drops in his Weatherby's account will help him. So, you know, she's out of Holy Moon. Just because I've had a few quid, I'll be saying a prayer, but do like him. I just get the feeling he's been really teed up for this race.
Harry Eustace just been a little bit quiet. Dick had a second at Lingfield yesterday, but not had too many runners, and they've not been going that well. Would that be a concern?
I didn't pick up on it now, if I'm totally honest.
Small sample, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure Harry has a massive string either, but once we're finished the show, I will be checking that. Sorry, I should have checked that before I...
Sorry, Dick, to pour some cold water on you.
But
yeah.
No, you're absolutely right to pour cold water on if the facts
Maybe
are there,
they're on the turn, though. Second at Lingfield yesterday, so could be wrong.
Maybe.
There you go then. Yeah, exactly. Go back through the form, and then we'll all see. There's enough things for us to be checking with each of these runners anyway. And the pedigree angle, pedigree corner over there.
Yeah, he's got a really good page, and just like I said, the pedigree suggests this is worth a go, and his striding analysis at Chepstow suggests he's worth going up and trip as well.
You're ticking enough variable boxes there with your research. Very
except
well
the trainer form.
We'll allow you one little piece of the jigsaw to have missed there.
Oh, and the other one I was going to give a mention to, fans of 50 Cent will maybe give many men a little bit of a chance. I do like him. Really lazy horse. He's got form with some of the key players in here. He's got form at York as well earlier in the season behind Merchant. That form looks red hot. And the fact he's got course form. So I'm going to take 2 against the field here. Sea of Kings and Many Men. Wish death upon me.
Be in the club if it wins, Deck.
Oi!
There you go. Yeah, no, you're banned this year. You're banned. That's not your symmetry this year around. But
I was going to say something about Magic Stick, but I'll leave that one there.
We definitely will leave that one there. But 2 darts for the pair of us two. Sam all in then for the win. In the Melrose, again, do let us know your selections in the comments section below. And whilst you're there, also hit subscribe and the bell notification so you never miss an episode. On to the 3 o'clock now. This is the Group 1 City of York Stakes for the 3-year-olds and over 7 furlongs. Rightly
Finally
so.
got a Group 1 7 furlong race.
I know, finally. Exactly.
Well, the fact that last year's renewal was a bit moderate.
I don't know how on the
All
back
right,
of last
come on, what are
year.
you doing?
But they've built to
Raining
it,
on
and
the parade.
it's a good thing to have, and I think it's a good lineup.
And technically, I think it's still the only Group 1 over 7 furlongs in Europe because the Prix de la Forêt isn't even a full 7 furlongs.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, I don't want to correct him here, but I'm pretty sure the Forêt still exists. Oh, there you go. They're nicely done. But yeah, this is just great. And fair play to everyone at York and for everyone making it happen as well. It deservedly has got that Group 1 status now for all that, as you say, last year thought might detract from it a little bit. Not to be, though. And we've been rewarded with a good turnout as well.
Yeah, it's a decent field. It's competitive. You got a classic winner in here in Rosallion and, good old audience, won a Lockinge by, like a young Hawkwing there not too far long ago.
Oh, you tipped him up that day, didn't you?
No, I don't think so.
Crediting you with it.
Yeah. I'll take it, though. Never So Brave, a really progressive, lovely horse as well. Marinona Charlie, one of the horses who will go forward, probably along with audience who's got first-time blinkers. Kirat Quinault, this is going to be a proper group run at a strong pace. Rosallion's obviously the classy horse in the race, and I've always felt 7 furlongs would be quite good for him. I just don't like his draw in 11. He's 11 of 11, and it just feels like sometimes when horses are drawn in those wide gates, they can be slowly away. And, with there's so much pace on here, I just wonder with him dropping in trip, if he is slowly away, could the race just get away from him? So when you're backing horses at that price, you want everything in your favour. Never So Brave, I think, is really rock solid. But the overpriced horse for me is exactly of Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. Now, she's been competing in Group 1s all season long, and, she ran a huge race earlier in the French 1000 Guineas. We remember with Zaragana, and she's perfect, and she got badly knocked that day. And then next time out at Royal Ascot in the Coronation Stakes, I actually think they might have used her as a pacemaker for January. So you can go and run third in a classic in France, the next run, you're going to run as a pacemaker. But this is her, what was the name of the race again? This was the Group 1 fillies race over a mile.
Pre-Rothschild.
The pre-Rothschild, there we go. And you can see her there, and she's got the chestnut filly with the big white face. She's just backed out of it. She travelled well with Fallen Angel, 3 out and 2 out. Now, she either needed the run there, which is probably not likely because she's been busy this season, or it suggested that a drop to 7 furlongs could suit. Now, she's by Frankel, and she's out of a really quick filly called Heartache, who I think used to be trained by Clive Cox and raced for Hot to Trot Racing. She's got the distaff side of the pedigree, all speed, and she just shaped to me there like a drop to 7 could really suit, especially a high tempo drop to 7. So yeah, look, I think she's overpriced. I'll take her as an each way bet against the rest of this field.
16 to 1 as well, taking on those that are ahead of the market.
Wouldn't it be so funny now? We've got a Group 1 race over 7 furlongs built for potential stallions, and then the filly goes and wins it. That's why I'm hoping.
Just to completely destroy the pattern and all the efforts made by the pattern committee to get this upgraded. Then Deck's going in to try and sabotage it, Sam.
Yeah, it's an interesting renewal, isn't it? And obviously, first time being Group 1, you want to see a really solid winner. And I'm really pleased we've got Rosallion in here. At 6 to 5, I won't be a backer, but I think it just adds yet more spice to this 7 furlong contest. Obviously, you go back 12 months ago, Lake Forest was absolutely punted off the boards to win when it was a Group 2, then got kicked, didn't it, at the start, or there was an issue, and then Audience went off odds on, 4 to 7, something like that, got beat.
Oh yeah, he messed around in the stall.
There
was some sort of
Audience kicked the ref Kinross at the start.
Yes,
the Lennox.
He kicked someone at some point.
It all caused some sort of...
I think audience headbutted the stalls when he was on last year, and that's why he
Just
flopped.
a hooligan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Stay away from him.
Those two reappear. I'd be curious to see if we see market support for Lake Forest, but I think I'm off that bandwagon at the moment and want to see a bit of a better
run.
run.
The other thing we should probably mention as well, Rosallion was supposed to run last weekend.
Yes, of course.
Had a bit of a setback. That doesn't inspire confidence either when you're backing a horse at 6-5.
I thought Richard Hannon explained that really well. I think it was in the interviews around, he said if he had a plane, he'd have flown the horse there on the Sunday. He was like, it was very, very minor. But 6-5, dropping in trip, not for me. Never So Brave, I thought, was the obvious selection here, and that's what I'm going to go for. Andrew Balding's horse, obviously, this is the run last time out over the mile, and just was really impressive. He followed up from the Buckingham Palace Handicap at Royal Ascot so well. There's a lot to like about him, and I think, since he's been gelded, his record's pretty impressive. The quicker the ground, that's not going to be a problem as well. There's a few in here that may want it a bit more cut. I kind of just went through over and over again and felt with Rosallion's coming into this race, afterthought is not the right word. And I think it's really handy for Richard Hannon this race is here. But Deck's already alluded to the draw, the drop in trip. I just felt this horse going back down to 7 is not going to be an issue at all, especially at the pace they're likely to go. He was the obvious play for me. I think he'll shorten up a little bit as well. Audience with headgear, no thank you. I'm off that train. It'd be great to see Kirat run a massive race, given apparently pacemakers are now the biggest problem in racing. Who saw that coming? Luke Elder, Tim Carroll. I'll have a chat to them next time I see them in the studio, because this is mad that people are losing their plot over pacemakers.
I was really hoping they'd run him in the handicap that was yesterday when he'd have about 2 stone well in, but sadly not.
I love the return of it. It feels so old school, doesn't it? The whole return of the pacemakers.
Pacemakers have been a thing forever.
Yes, hasn't it just? Yeah, I mean, we had a lull of them for a few years, but now, it's all the rebirth of it. And look at what exciting races we've got. 150-1 winner of the Sussex Stakes, who's back for more in this and trying to prove... It just adds another angle, another dimension, and it adds a lot of pace onto this race as well.
The best horse that ever lived had a pacemaker.
Exactly, that's a good old Bullet Train. He's the most famous pacemaker of all, wasn't he? So loads of pace on in here.
Not quite Sholikoff, Hawkwing's pacemaker.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
Apology accepted.
Right, back to this though. Now, you two, I feel, are just... I'm glad that one of us is going with the obvious, basically, with Rosallion. You know me and my 7 furlong contests. The reason I love them so much is because it's such a specialist trip. So I try and side with the 7 furlong specialist. That is not Rosallion, but he is a very, very fast miler, as we know. Also, we have so much pace on in here. Hopefully that extra little bit of stamina will really come to the fore as well. Now, we're looking at Lake Forest and Rosallion taking each other on. Of course, this was in the Group 1 Queen Anne Stakes at Royal Ascot. Now, he finished just a nose behind Docklands, who is a funny horse, but we know how much Docklands adores Ascot. Yeah. So this was his race. This was his day. Rosallion ever so consistent yet again. And we even saw that from him when you look at the Sussex Stakes. For him to get to within a neck of Kirat and to be the only horse to be able to bridge that gap as well was just testament to Rosallion. Even more so, he deserves to get his head in front. And even when you look back at the Sussex Stakes, when you see Field of Gold blowing out, yes, he did have that minor issue that was subsequently found, but you never have to have an excuse with Rosallion. Cue him running a below-par race now. However, he just runs consistently well, runs his race. Hopefully, this is his deserved success at the top level.
The other thing with Rosallion, which I wanted to point it out when Sam's VT was playing, was beat Hatem. The Hannons have always said Rosallion is twice the horse of Hatem, although the form book doesn't suggest that because they both ran quite close to each other in the Guineas and the 2000 Guinea is in Ireland. But it's just the Hannons, didn't Richard Hannon said this is the best horse he's ever trained, I think, at one stage.
Yeah.
I think mental, don't agree, but yeah.
I think I put him up actually when we did that trainer ranking of our favourite horse that they trained, and I'm pretty sure I put up Rosallion for Richard Hannon.
We were all on that day, weren't we? I seem to recall at Royal Ascot, and it was a painful watch. And you said, Kate, do you always get what you deserve? That's not always the case in racing, sadly.
In life, just in life, to be honest. In general, there you go.
Philosophical there.
Rosallion is a metaphor for us all, but at 6-5, hopefully hopefully.
Kate still wishes she was in Ibiza. She's here chatting nonsense.
That's what I deserve. That's what I deserve. Yeah, Rosallion deserves his Group 1 and I deserve Ibiza more. 6-5 favourite there. I'm hoping he will go in and win again. Right, on to the big race of the weekend then. The Ebor itself, of course, Heritage Handicap, 4-year odds and over a mile 6 comes up at 3.35 at York. Now, Willie Mullins has the top 2 in the market. Last year's unlucky and eye-catching 5th, Hip Hop de Loire, 3-1 favourite heading the way here, Sam. So not very easy race, as always, to solve the Ebor.
No, it isn't. Irish trainers usually a good starting point when you look through the Roll of Honour, Ger Lyons, you know, other trainers just flicking back through. And Willie Mullins obviously holds a very strong hand here, doesn't he? With the front 2 in the betting and another one deeper into the bar. This race for me, Kate, fantastic betting race. Absolutely love this. And so do the punters. It's one of the highlights of the year, I must say. And over the 4 days at York, this if you ever get to go, the atmosphere for Ebor Day is different class, and the betting ring is absolutely alive, which is great to see. My shortlist had a few on here. I think the favourite, yes, was unlucky last year. I think that's absolutely clear to say. But
very short, isn't he?
Yeah.
For an 8-year-old.
And it's Willie Mullins.
It is Willie Mullins.
He comes in obviously on the back, you could say, of a better prep, having won at Galway this time. But 3-1, yeah. I mean, I think I'm happy to play elsewhere, and I'd rather play something each way. There were a couple on the shortlist. I thought Ascending's really interesting. Obviously, was a good winner at Royal Ascot. I just wonder if maybe Henry de Bromhead's horse. Not sure it's that well in at the weights in terms of what you'd want for an Ebor winner. So I went round the block and went to last year's renewal, and I was re-watching it, and I was trying to remember what I tipped, and it was Queenstown for Aidan O'Brien, who arrived here off the back of some decent form of Kyprios, having finished second to that horse. Since that day, ran in a Cesarewitch and didn't do a lot. Obviously was disappointing in this race 12 months ago, but probably had excuses. Ryan, more interestingly, opts to ride her, and I just kind of went... Him? Sorry, Dick. The name confuses.
Don't misgender the horse.
Certainly not. I just felt like that was just a price. I think it was 16-1, something like that.
16s. Yeah.
And, you know, the 2 runs this year have been quiet runs, I think it's fair to say. Last time out in a Group 2 and finishing down the field, hung a little bit. I've just got a sneaky feeling this might have been the plan to come back here and try and right the wrong. It was a short price last year, I think 10-1, when we had what looked an openish kind of betting race.
I remember Aidan being very keen on this horse at the Ballydoyle kind of Ebor Festival preview day or whatever at Ballydoyle, but then the horse I think was a massive drifter on the day and
went off 10s.
And I think they blamed the ground. The ground was a little bit too quick for him.
So he's going to get similar conditions, but the fact that they're willing to take the chance, the fact that the horses remain, you know, they're not the types to hang on to horses for sentimental reasons here. I think there's a race in him. Whether it's the Ebor or not, I don't know, but 16-1 I thought was an each way play for me.
Yeah, you are in the bar then with your selection going back in again. Rixie.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 4-year-old filly trained by Johnny Murtagh, who's got form with the Willie Mullins horse, Ethical Diamond from Royal Ascot. Now, Ethical Diamond was so good this day. Like, I forgot how keen he was. He was in the form of his life this day. He pulled Ryan Moore around the racetrack for the whole race, and then just watch how he still finishes off here. Now, on this running, you would suggest it's going to be very hard for Siege of Troy to turn the form. But look at Oisin Murphy here. You know, he's trying to get her covered up the whole way. She was steadily outpaced from 2 out to 1 out, and then steadily outpaced, I think, from the winner from 1 out to the line. But she really does hit the line well. And looking at her striding data and looking at her pedigree, she's by Sayuni. Look at her there. She's still striding out quite nicely in a race that was run at a good gallop. She's by Sayuni out of a Galileo mare called Rotherham, and her half-sister actually runs in this race as well, Kiva, so we've got the same family line are running in the race, and her half-brother Middle Earth, who was by a Roaring Lion, won the Melrose over this course and distance a couple of seasons ago. So everything about her suggests she could go up and trip. Now, she's got to turn around 4 3/4 lengths with Ethical Diamond, but Oisin Murphy does not ride Siege of Troy. Patrick McGettigan, a 7-pound claimer based with Johnny Murtagh, is going to take the ride. Huge ride for the young fella, which means for a 4 3/4 length beating, he's got a 15-pound turnaround. That is absolutely colossal over this trip. And she's officially 3 pounds well in, because she came here on the back of a run in the Ballyroan Stakes last time out at Leopardstown. And given how strong she hit the line in over 12 furlongs there in a well-run Royal Ascot handicap, I thought she ran a screamer behind much more classier horses in the Ballyroan in a race that was really tactical, and it just suggests to me she's improving and she's kind of maybe getting a little bit quicker as well. So I just cannot, if you're a weights and measures kind of guy, it makes no sense that she's 16, 18 to 1 and Ethical Diamond is 11 to 2 with a 15-pound swing in the weight. So Johnny Murtagh has won, I think, maybe 2 of the last 10 winners of this race.
2.
And now, I don't think we've had a 7-pound claimer win the Ebor the last decade anyway, but Callum Rodriguez and Adam McNamara both won the race as 5-pound claimers. So good luck to young Patrick and Mick Edigan.
Definitely so. He's someone who seems to be getting a lot of plaudits as well.
Well, look, if he's in Johnny Murtagh, doesn't strike me as the fella who will suffer fools. Right. And he was a generational talent, so I think he's going to take in lads who he's got a lot of belief in. You can see how he's nurtured Ben Cohen. So if Johnny's happy to put him up, that's all you need to know.
A couple of winners as well this week, including one at Leopardstown Thursday night. So there you go.
Yeah, and Johnny Murtagh, as you say, has won 2 Ebors as a trainer as well. So, 16 to 1. You are also in the bar. Now, I'll leave you two in the bar because I'm with French Master here at 7 to 1. So, Hip Hop Devoir just makes perfect sense, doesn't he? So eye-catching when 5th in this race last year. But I'm actually siding with a flat trainers for once then in the Ebor in the form of the Gosdens, which feels like a bit of a turn-up in itself. But, of course, French Master has started this season really well.
Look at his rogue. Look at him running around all over the shop.
He's not straightforward.
He's got loads of ability, though.
Ebor horses aren't really that straightforward.
Yeah.
Let's be completely real about it. Yeah, no, he's all over the place. The blinkers didn't really make a tap of a difference this day, did they?
But once they straightened him out here, look at him, he's running home.
He will stay all day, this horse, and that's what I want. And as I say, I know why they fitted the blinkers for him, just to try something different. He just laughed at them, to be fair. They didn't do a single tap of difference, but he is a bit of a rogue, but he is very talented, as we know. And considering he's a bit of a rogue, he has actually had a really good season so far this campaign. And of course, with that Copper Horse Stakes over a mile 6 at Royal Ascot on his penultimate start, winning that really well backed that day as well. And he rattled home, as we've just been looking at. And that day, he did just look a cup horse in the making. It was probably just a step too soon for him last time out at Goodwood, I feel, when he went into the Group 1 Goodwood Cup. But he still might make up into being a cup horse. However, he is back in a handicap now, running off a mark of 108, which was the winning rating in 2020 and 2021 as well. So it might be a blessing.
That's actually one thing. Two things I'd mention is horses with triple figure official ratings have won plenty of the last 10 renewals.
05, 01.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that I was going to mention with him was clearly a lie.
It was clearly very important.
Oh, yeah, surely the drop and trip is going to be big for him, isn't it? Because he didn't look to quite get home at Goodwood last time.
Yeah, considering he rattles home so well at Ascot, you just thought it's going to be a cup horse, it's going to be a 2-miler.
He was number 2 on my list, but I hate the draw. He's drawn widest of all.
I don't mind that.
And he was I just wonder if he was slowly away as he was last time out, he could be last and could be nightmare run through for James Doyle.
See, I'm low, and I actually thought the draw for the favourite in 9 could be a bit awkward, because it's like, what do? You're going to have horses at the inside that are going to be going quick. You're going to have those on the outside trying to cut across. I don't know where's a good draw, and historically, as Kate mentioned, high isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, but just with him, given how slow he was away, he has a habit of being slow away, and when you're drawn,
wide draw then. Who cares?
It's like,
where he's going to be.
Up the
Doesn't matter at all. There you go then. Wide draw, who cares in the Ebor? Says after he's going to be tailed off from the first furlong. Anyway, do let us know in the comments section below who you fancy for the big race of the weekend, the Ebor, as the three of us head over to the sofa to give you our best bets of the weekend. Right, it's best bets of the weekend time. Deck, you're up first. What's your nap?
Best bets, yes. We've discussed all 3 this week.
Oh, good.
And I'm swinging for the fences for the nap this week. I'm going Sea of Troy in the Ebor. Clearly a horse that's massively overpriced. Got a wonderful pedigree. £3 officially well in. That's even before you take in the jockey's £7 claim. I think the form is there for everyone to see, and she is absolutely overpriced at around 16, 18 to 1. So she will do for me. Then the next bet is going to be Sea of Kings in the Melrose over the same course and distance. Hoping it's going to be a 14 furlong bonanza for me tomorrow, clearly. I don't know is the truth, but it just looks to me like this horse is being teed up for this race. Those runs over 10 furlongs, was finally stepping up in trip, got an unbelievable pedigree as a half-brother or a full brother to Sea of Class. And last time out, ran a huge race to career best despite a massive drift in the betting. And then the long shot, you've got to have a bet in the old first Group 1 in Britain, don't you? We're going to go with exactly as the long shot this week. Look, Rosallion and Never So Brave are absolutely kind of the two class acts in there, but you know, with her fillies sex allowance factored in there, she doesn't have that much to find. She's overpriced for a top team, and given she's out of Heartache, who was quite a speedy filly, and by Frankel, and she shaped like 7 furlongs with Suit last time out, maybe this is what she's been wanting all her life.
If those 3 go in, you will have to.
Well, won't be here next
I'm
week.
I'm going to York tomorrow, so if all 3 of those go in, I'm going to buy Pop World.
Just the whole. I was going to say, it's like you get a booth. I don't know if they do booths, but no, actually no, just the whole of Pop World though.
We're going to do an out each way Rixie Trixie on those 3 tomorrow.
Oh my goodness me, I'm really, really looking forward to this. He is going all in here, absolutely swinging for the fences, Sam. So I'm sorry that you're having to go next.
Yeah, fair play, Rixie.
That is 4 to 7.
No.
Ass nibble.
6 to 1, 11 to 2 at time of recording.
Still
You
nibbling.
please know. There we go. We're going to go for the race after the Ebor, which is the Constantine 6 furlong handicap, where there's a horse who was 5th last time out at York and arguably unlucky, remains off the same mark of 95, and it's Pocklington for Jeff Olroyd, who, interestingly, this horse is named, I assume, after where he trains, because he trains in the village or town called Pocklington. I can't say I know it, somewhere up north, but his strike rate at the moment is pretty good as well. He wouldn't have too many horses, but he's operating at around 50%. Like I say, this horse was unlucky last time out. Run before that was at Newcastle in the all-weather and a reappearance after a break. Could go really well. This horse by Blue Point, definitely well respected. My next best, I agree with Dec. We've got to have a bet, haven't we, in the Group 1 7 furlong race? But I'm going to go for Never So Brave. Andrew Balding's horse for me is the one to be with. Just dropping that back down in trip doesn't concern me. Pace in the race will really suit. I think the Ascot effort was really outstanding at Royal Ascot. Following it up next time out in the summer mile, there's so much to like about his chances. And my long shot, I'm going to go for the Ebor and Queenstown. I'm going for Redemption. Declan reminded me, obviously, putting the horse up last year, it was a massive drifter. Well, we're a big price to start with, aren't we, this year at least? So let's hope we don't get any bigger. I hope Ryan Moore's chosen right. The draw, yeah, we're a bit lowly drawn, I suppose, but I'm not going to worry about the draw. It's an Ebor. Anything can happen. We saw that last year, didn't we, with this year's favourite. Fingers crossed Queenstown can justify going back in time and that Kyprios form was not some sort of anomaly.
Yes, as you say about for drifters, it is interesting, isn't it? But if you start off at a big price, if it gets worse,
can get bigger.
Yes, it could still get bigger all the same, though. But a nice way to play then the big race of the weekend. Now, my nap, it will be unsurprising to you. I'm clearly going for the shortest price nap of the 3 of us. It's going to be Rosallion. In his bid to get that Group 1 contest to his name in the newly formed Group 1 7 furlong contest for City of York Stakes. His official rating just clearly suggests that he's the best horse in the race. Hopefully he will prove that again, no doubting his ability. And that was further testament to it, the fact he was the only one who could bridge the gap to Kirat last time out in that bizarre Sussex Stakes. But he turns up every single time, so I am firmly with my Richard Hannon favourite trained horse. Now, my next best is going to be French Master in the Ebor, who we just spoke about then, and according to the trends, he is the horse who should be going closest of all, even though he is trained by flat trainers though. Second on his reappearance, winning at Goodwood, penultimate start, winning the Copper Horse Stakes, and just looked like a cup horse in the making. Last time out in the Goodwood Cup was just a step too far for him, so back to handicap company should see him to better effect. And my long shot, again, in the Melrose, who we were talking about earlier on, my 2 plays in that, of course, a bigger price one, it's going to be Boatswain for Simon and Ed Crisford, who can just do no wrong at present. And he finished 4th in a Sandown handicap last time out, hampered in the run, wasn't suited by the way that the race unfolded, and further slight improvement on the back of his 7th in the King George, the 5th stakes at Royal Ascot. So improved for the step up in trip to mile 6 last time out. Hopefully he will still have more to come, and he is £5 better off with the favourite this time round as well. So there you go, lads. Right, we're all taking aim at York then for our best bets. Really, really looking forward to it. It's always a class meeting, isn't it? So we haven't had any sort of disappointments on the face of it so far throughout the week, so hopefully that can continue. And Rixie will be in Pop World then on Saturday night up in York.
If everything goes well, I will.
Meet and greet with all the fans, Dec, yeah? After you've tipped up a few winners.
Meet and greet with fans.
Of all the places you do not want to be meeting and greeting people, Pop World is
like I said
everywhere.
earlier, many men wish death upon me.
There you go. Right, we better wrap it up at that point, lads. Thank you so much for the pair of you two for all of your hard work, as per usual. A big thank you to you for watching. Best of luck with your bets this weekend, and we'll be back at the same time next Friday to preview the pick of the weekend action.